Hi, everybody. Welcome to our convention recap. I got back a few days ago, and I always forget about the jet lag coming back. I don't know about you guys, but I was very thankful for Active when we got back. But we are so excited to share with you just some of our takeaways from convention. 3 days worth of training and information we wanted to share some of our top takeaways from the week. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I have really just a bunch of different bullet point notes that were some things that just stood out to me. And they're from all the different speakers, things that I think were useful for me in my business, and hopefully they will be for you guys and yours too. One thing that one of the speakers talked about was a lot of times people are so afraid to post on social media about Plexus. And I think this kind of pertains to everything too, because we do a lot of talking about branding and attraction marketing and posting personal stuff. That way people don't just get bombarded with Plexus stuff. So it's kind of there's two different ends of the spectrum. Some people feel like posting Plexus is really safe, but they don't. They're scared to post personal stuff because that's personal. Where Plexus, they can kind of separate themselves from a little bit. And some people are the opposite. They're fine with posting personal stuff, but they're scared to post Plexus stuff. So either way you look at it, they said, we are never posting for our critics. We're always posting for people praying for answers. So when you go to make a post, don't ever worry about what someone who is judging you or who, for whatever reason, is negative about it. Don't worry about what they think. We do not post for them. We post for the people who are praying for an answer to a financial problem they have or a health problem that they have. There are so many people out there that are looking for answers, and we have what people need, whether it's a product, whether it's a business, whether it's just a community of like-minded people who can link arms with them and celebrate their wins with them. So there's so many things that we have to offer with Plexus that people are praying for. So don't worry about your critics. Just worry about the people that we can help, because there are so many of them. One thing that Bob Heilig talked about was a lot of times people say that they are stuck, they feel stuck in their business. And he said a lot of times it comes down to being inconsistent. He said when he talks to people most often, when they talk about being stuck, they'll say, well, sometimes I do this or sometimes I do this, and it's never always I do this. So we really need to work on our consistencies, whether that's posting on Facebook every day consistently, sending out messages every day, doing our follow-ups every day, joining team calls, doing personal development, joining the Plexus corporate calls, whatever that is, we need to be doing them consistently, because that's where we tend to get stuck, is where we do things for a little on and stop and a little on and stop. He talked too about having limiting beliefs about what we can achieve. He said, do you truly believe that you can be successful? If you do not believe that you can be successful, number one, other people won't either, and so they will not join you. And number two, you won't work for it. If you don't believe that you are capable of achieving success, then you're not going to work for it, because you'll go into doing your IPAs discouraged, and you'll quit, and you'll get distracted, and then you won't get them done, and then you won't be successful. So you have to believe, truly believe, that you will be on stage one day as Emerald, Sapphire, Diamond, that you have what it takes. And that if you don't have what it takes in one area, that you can learn, that you are committed to learning whatever that skill is to get you to the next level. He said, do what you need to do until you have the results that you want, period. And he said that we create success from the inside out. Again, that goes back to your beliefs and then working for what you want to achieve. He said that we have a responsibility to use our God-given gifts to make a difference. He said that sometimes people shy away from praise because it makes them uncomfortable. If you're ever had someone post something about you that's really good, maybe it's a team page, maybe it's something that you did, achieved your accomplishment, made you feel uncomfortable. We always have to remember that people aren't praising you, they're praising your accomplishments, and the accomplishments happen because you used the gifts that God gave you. So it always goes back to that. One of the speakers talked about how we have to be bold. And this kind of goes back to what I said earlier. She said, my desire to help others is far greater than my fear of what people think of me. So we always have to keep that in mind, that we do this for others, not because of what people are going to think of us. And she said that one good question that we can ask people who aren't committing, maybe they've been thinking about it for a while or researching it for a while, it's okay to ask people what's holding you back. Like, what is it that's making you hesitate? What is it that's making you not to order this month? Maybe they'll say it's finances and you can show them how to get their products covered. Or maybe they say they're afraid of what people think of them. And you say, you know what, I felt the exact same way, but this is what I found. So find out what it is that's holding people back, and then you can show them how you felt about that particular thing or how someone you know has felt about that particular thing and help them overcome that objection. They talked about being real and being authentic, not negative, but if you are true to your authentic self and if you post about who you are genuinely, again, not in any kind of negative way, but just who you are in a positive way, then it will attract people that you want to have on your team, and it will repel people you don't. So don't worry about, well, if I post this, like it's something about me, but people might not like it. The people that don't like it don't matter because they're not going to join your team anyway, but the people who are thinking about joining your team, it's going to attract them to you more. The speaker also talked about writing your story out. So like wherever you are in your Plexus journey, write it out, what it looks like right now, where you are in your journey, and then evaluate it. Are you where you want to be in your business and in your life? And if not, then write out a new story. Write out how you want it to look. Where do you want to be in your business? What do you want to accomplish? And then after you figure that out, you work every day to make that story happen. And I think I did that a couple of years ago. It felt really weird at first, where I had a speaker say, start today and write a journal entry as if it's a year from now and what you've accomplished, how that feels. Be very specific. Put yourself in that moment of how it would feel to actually accomplish all those things and write it out in a very detailed way. And then it was amazing after writing all that down and stuff just starts to come to you. Then what you do work harder to make those things happen because you kind of put yourself in that mindset and how that's going to feel. And then you're more excited every day to work your business because you know what you're working towards. So I encourage you guys to do that and write out what you want your story to look like, what you want to accomplish, and then you read that every day. This is what I'm working for because I want this to be my story. I want this to be my success story. It's ironic, I'll tell you in a second who said this. It was in our dual meeting. She talked a lot about how she was scared to build a team. And she's scared right now to lead her team because she's afraid every day that they're going to figure out that she's a fraud, that she's not up on this pedestal, that she's not anybody special, that she's just a regular mom, a total hot mess. And she said that she's worried every day to lead her team because she's scared that people will figure out or think that she's a fraud. So the person who talked to us about this in the Joel meeting was actually Diamond Ambassador Jennifer Lee. She's the one who earned the One Plexus Award this year. She's the one that Plexus asked to speak at Super Saturday in Scottsdale, the one that was videotaped for all the people who are watching at home. She said that she still feels inadequate and she still feels like she's trying to figure it out and how to lead a team. No matter where you are in your business, know that nobody is going to always have everything figured out. We're all learning this together. It's okay to feel inadequate. It's okay to feel like you have no idea what's going on. Just own that and then do the things that you know you're supposed to do anyway. And I thought that was really encouraging when she said that. We all struggle and we all have insecurities. That's totally normal, but don't ever let them hold you back. One of the other speakers, Brenda Martin, she talked about how she's got like 11 or 12 kids, and she said she gets asked all the time about how she balances everything between her kids and her business. And she said it's not about harmony, it's not about balance, it's about harmony. It's about all the areas in your life coming together, not competing against each other, but complementing each other. So if something doesn't align with your goals, it's okay to say no to that. If somebody asks you to go to lunch, but you had a team lunch plan instead, it's okay to say no to that. If something does not align with your goals and where you want to be headed, then it's okay to say no. And then the last thing that I had written down here is the only thing that takes away fear is action. When you hesitate and think about something you're afraid of, the fear grows. But when you act in spite of the fear, then the fear goes away. And one of the speakers of the whole talk about counting backwards from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you ever are scared to do something, just count backwards. And as soon as you get to 1, do whatever it is you're scared of anyway, and don't ever let that fear hold you back. So that's what my top takeaways. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Stephanie. And I would make you big on the screen, but I have this little thing wanting me to do an update. I'm scared if I click on it, it's going to shut everything down, and it's like hiding your box. So Stephanie, I'm so sorry. I can't make you big on the screen. But
Okay,
you can share your tips.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you see me?
Just your picture.
Okay, that's a good picture. So that's okay. So this last convention was my 3rd convention. It was, I think, just every year they get better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to share some things that I had learned from Mel Robbins. She was our last keynote speaker, and I think she was the last speaker at the very last convention session that we had on Thursday. And because she kind of she was the creator of the 5-second rule, and she basically talked about how you break through your negative thoughts. And because that's something I really struggled with in this business, whenever I would start working my business and really just start working my business, my negative thoughts would take over, and it would just I would just self-sabotage myself and just stop working my business, because I would just tell myself like, who do I think I am? Like, why do I think I could be a jewel? Why do I think I can help people? All those negative thoughts that really just have been ingrained in my brain ever since I was young. So she came up with the 5-second rule. And I guess she said there's 5 seconds between making a decision and then acting on it. And in between those 5 seconds, then all those negative thoughts can start coming through and kind of talk you out of that decision that you just made and keep you from acting on it. So what she started doing was counting backwards, starting with 5 to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she realized that breaking through those negative thought patterns, it brought her thinking back to like the front of her brain, which just helped her to start making better decisions, and just had her thinking just differently than her negative thoughts, which honestly probably about 2 or 3 months ago, I really started just trying to break through my own negative thoughts. And I didn't know about the 5-second rule at that time, but I did. Every time like I would start to think about something negative, I would shake my head no and just tell myself, no, I'm not going to think like that. And then she came and she started talking about the 5-second rule. So it's kind of the same thing. I say no, or you count backwards from 5, but you just want to break through, just break up those negative thoughts, and remind yourself that you don't have to think that way. You don't have to talk to yourself that way. The way I would talk to myself, I would never even think about talking to a friend like that. I would never say that stuff to someone else, but yet I was saying it to me. And I know I can't be the only one that talks like that to myself. So I really like just how she just taught us how, or just kind of reiterated how to break through those negative thoughts. And honestly, it really helped me because you would think on Saturday, we just got through this amazing convention, and I would come home and just like hit the ground running with my business. I would want to hit the ground running with my business, but as soon as I got off the plane on Saturday, and first off, the pilot did not descend very gracefully. It felt like I was on a roller coaster, like going downhill for like 20 minutes. And it felt like, that feeling in your stomach just feels awful. And I just felt like we were going to fall out the sky for like 20 minutes. So I get off the plane and my mom is calling me. And she's calling me, and I'm like rejecting her because I'm trying to get my baggage and everything. And finally, she leaves me a voice message, and she's like, it's an emergency. So I'm thinking, maybe my kids, my grandparent, or my grandfather, or something. And she's talking to me about my dog. And my dog was in a Pets Hotel. And he was, throwing up. He had diarrhea. The one vet was saying like he might die. He might have like an obstruction in his stomach. So they're running him to all these different vets, and I'm thinking all these vet bills. And then my refrigerator broke, and so now all the food in my refrigerator, I come home to spoiled food. And honestly, I was in a really bad mood. I was thankfully PetSmart did not make me pay for the vet bills, which would have been like $600. My refrigerator and I just was like extremely in a bad mood and just very, very negative. And, I just really just kind of let that fester in my brain. And I'm like, you know what, like, that's ridiculous. Again, I just shook my head and shook those thoughts out of my head and out of my heart. And just remembered, what I had just learned, and just kind of broke up, that negative thinking. Of course, like, I know everything's it's going to work out. It was kind of just crazy for a minute. And I just, it was probably like 5 minutes of chaos that I was going to let affect my business for the rest of the week or maybe a month, which is just crazy. So anyway, I've just really learned to keep my, like, as soon as I start thinking negatively, to get them out of my brain. So that's it.
Okay, my turn. Okay, so I just went over my notes that I took for convention, so I'm just gonna go back over them again with you guys. So my takeaways was the first day they talked about courage and activity. So basically, don't be afraid to do the activities, the IPAs and all that. And a quote I wrote down was, they told us to keep our ass in gear, so that's good advice. They said to set your priorities, and I had heard this from my previous supervisor, and your priority should, well, I mean, I'm not telling you what your priority should be, but they said God, family, and business, and that just struck home with me. They talked about gratitude, making your prospects feel important, ask them questions, let them do most of the talking. And they said, you're going to be as happy and successful as you expect to be. So if you say, I'll never be a jewel, like Brittany was saying, then you won't. I've heard that quote from other people too about whatever you say. How's it go? If you say you can or if you say you can't, either way, you're going to be right. And we talked about Super Saturday Express, which is July 13th. And you can find it on the Facebook Ambassador community page under events. They also talked about this really cool Train Me text thing. So if you text Train Me, all one word, to 753-987, you'll get like reminders and stuff. I got the reminder for the Monday motivation and the recap of convention. There's 3-part recap if you don't know about that. And it also will send you the U.S. Ambassador support calendar, and it'll tell you everything that's going on from this month and the months to come. And it also has the links for you to register for that stuff. There's some cool shareables in our virtual office under the resource library, and there's cool graphics and tools for your team. Like one of them was go for the nose or the most nose, or there's just all kinds of stuff for you to use for your team. Of course, we all got to try the Plexus Active. That was very exciting. My husband took one this morning before he went to work, and he said that it really helped him get through the day. He's a diesel tech, so he's working on big tractors in 90-degree weather, and he had energy all day. He's in bed now, but he was still feeling good when he got home from work today. Consistency is key. time management, time blocking, like blocks out certain 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and just do your IPAs during those times. They talked about a time management video on YouTube, so I went and looked that up, and the two that I found for Plexus was one by Sarah Marble, and it's called Time Management / Training Presentation. It's about 30 minutes long. And then there's another one by Melissa Eichenhorst, and that one's about 15 minutes long. It's Time Management and IPA. I just found those before this meeting, so I haven't watched them yet myself, but I'm going to. They told us to avoid comparing ourselves to others. You know, just because somebody joined at the same time as you and they're having better luck doesn't mean that you can't do it. So have faith in yourself, have faith in the Lord. One thing I really loved about it was how everybody was thanking God. And we all got to give glory to God, because without him, we would have nothing. They said small actions repeated daily equal massive results. Brittany had talked about how, I just lost my train of thought. She just talked about how we have to be consistent with what we're doing, like doing a bunch of little things instead of doing one thing consistently, which I am guilty of doing that too. They say you don't have to be an expert, use the sharing system and third-party tools. The new sampling system, that's exciting. Have you guys gone into your virtual office and everything and checked that out? We got free shipping on samples, and you get your own little link that you can give people. And you do get PV points for that. And then another takeaway was this was my first convention. So this was my first time meeting all of these people in person. And that was really a big takeaway, because it's easy to watch somebody out there in cyberspace making all this money from this online business and say, oh, well, I can't do it. They're living off in some fantasy world. But when you go to things like this, you meet the people, you see that they're actually real people, just like you, struggling or whatever. So that was a big takeaway. And I actually have more takeaways. When we were in the airport afterwards, Jill had asked Brittany what she did to become an emerald for the first time. And she said that she did the welcome call before the customers ever even get their welcome packs. And I thought that was a great idea. Do a 3-way call with your upline. And that's great, because then you have the third-party validation from somebody else who, the person doesn't know. And I thought that was really great. And Lisa told me to look up a video on YouTube called Who is Your 76th by Melissa Eichenhorst. And that one was a really good video. It's only about 10 minutes long. And they talk about how she says you can't quit Plexus until you have personally sponsored 100 people. So if you haven't sponsored 100 people yet, then you can't say the business isn't working for you. Another one was Lisa told me don't say business to people, because I had said that when people complain about not being able to pay for their products, I say, well, have you considered working the business? And Lisa said, don't use the word business because it's intimidating. Use, share your journey or something like that. So I thought that was really good advice. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's my turn, I think. And on that, don't say business, but, share your journey. Tonight, Genevieve said something about community. So there's tons of ways to experience the Plexus community as, retail preferred or ambassador. And so I liked that word. I like the community. It kind of ties everybody's, the relationships in. So what I'm going to hit on is pretty much day one, because I'm going back and going through my notes and rewriting my chicken scratch and listening. I recorded some of the sessions with my MP3 player. So that's what I'm going to touch on. So not too much variety. Most of it's Rita Davenport, but she was amazing. The cool thing was the first thing that happened at convention was a Pleximony. And Raquel Torres got up there and she said that her ex-husband's family told her she would never amount to anything. And then she said, but God. Then she prayed and prayed and prayed for opportunities and friendship, and she was lonely. And now she has thousands of friends because of Plexus. And so that was just cool. Like Carrie said earlier, just to hear God, everyone giving glory to him. And then Alec said that it's not scary to tell your story if those people are your people. And you won't know that they're your people until you tell them your story. And so it's kind of, you gotta go through the circle of it. But don't be afraid to tell someone your story, because either they'll shrug it off and they don't care, or you'll change their life. And the idea of it changing their life is worth it. So don't let the fear of sharing your story get to you and keep you from giving someone what they need. Okay, so now on to Rita. I loved her. She kept us laughing the whole time. But she started with a very simple statement, which to me ended up being kind of profound. But she said, you don't get into Plexus, Plexus gets into you. And it was kind of one of those things where she was just saying it to get the crowd cheering and excited and everything. But it kind of hit me like a lot of us in here didn't pursue Plexus. We tried it for health reasons or whatever, and it kind of took over. Like, it changed us, and people started asking questions, and then we started sharing. And so, like, you don't get into Plexus. Plexus gets into you, and it takes you on this wild journey. And then the rest of what she said kind of was super on point for me, because she's talking about either those that, she didn't say this, but it feels like she's talking to those that are just starting, or those that feel like they kind of have stalled. Like, I've been sitting at the same rank for almost 2 years now, and I kind of feel like I'm getting nowhere, taking a few steps forward and then a couple steps back, and it's just not really going anywhere. So she said, like, it doesn't matter where you are, you can start right now. Look at this moment as your ribbon cutting. So whether you've been open for a while or not, you had some renovations, and here we go, grand opening. This is your ribbon cutting. You can start fresh wherever you are. And then she reminded us that diamonds, the top of the company, they've been told no. They've been turned down. They've been embarrassed. They've been teased and made fun of. They've felt inferior, but they had that one ingredient that everybody needs to succeed, and that's courage. So don't let the fear of talking to someone, the fear of sharing your story, the fear of feeling stupid stop you. And then she went on to say that this is a people and connection business, but it's not who you know, it's what you do. Your activity is key. And Carrie mentioned this already, but something she said was, you got to keep your butt moving. You have not because you ask not. So move that booty, keep working hard, and don't stop. And then no one is too big or too little to do this to you. Don't look at someone and decide right away, like, oh, they won't do it. Because you really don't know. You have no idea. So don't look at someone as too big or too little, or too popular or too weird. Just everybody needs this. Be nicer than necessary to everyone you come across, and just have fun. Your retention of knowledge and experiences, and even the people on your team, your retention is higher if you're laughing and having fun. So stay positive and find positive things to say in every situation. She said her example was, don't draw attention to the negatives. If you're throwing a party and the dog poops on the floor, you don't call everyone over to see it. You focus on something positive, you distract, you excite, and you move on. And so if the company does something, or you have an upline that bails on you or something, don't focus on that. Don't dwell on that. Don't complain to everyone. Focus on the positives. The positives are you have a new opportunity for growth in a different area. Mind your mind, because your energy follows your thought. So if you are thinking like, oh, I don't have time to do this, you're not going to find time to do it. If you're thinking like, this is amazing, I'm going to wake up half an hour early every day, I'm going to get my IPAs done, I'm going to whatever, those things are going to happen. They're only going to happen if you're thinking that they're going to happen. And you can be as happy as you let yourself be. If you are failing, if your business is failing, check your head, check your happiness, What's going on? What's bringing you down? Are you deciding that situations are a fail before you even start? Or are you deciding that they're a win before you start? Because if you go into something saying, this will grow me, this will teach me a lesson, this isn't going to kill me, then you're going to have success in that situation. But if you go into something saying, what's she going to think? Oh no, they're going to make fun of me. They're going to whatever. Then that you're probably going to crash and burn. So just decide right away that you're going to do okay at what you're doing. So just keep positive, stay active, keep growing, and just remember that you are never alone in this because God is within you and He has surrounded you by thousands of like-minded people. So whatever your personality is, there is someone in this Plexus community that's like you. And so you may not get what you need from me or Carrie or Stephanie or Brittany tonight, but there's probably someone else out there that speaks your language. So just keep listening to testimonies, keep following other people's journeys. There's someone out there that has what you need, just like you have what someone else needs. So those are my takeaways. And then Brittany wanted me to mention that if you are not registered for next year, you need to be. I don't know if they are going to sell out of spots right now. I don't know if it's going to take months. They've never opened it up this early before. Usually it's January. So I have no idea if registration is going to be open for a week or a month or for the next year. No clue. So just do it now, because even if you need to cancel, you have until May 15th. So over a month before it starts to cancel. And you only lose $5. You get everything else back but that $5. So it's worth it to just register now, get it done, put it in your calendar, and if something comes up, it comes up. It's okay. And then after you register, talk to me about housing, because the on-site hotel is $295 a night for a maximum, a 2-person room with a maximum of 4 with more fees. So if you split a room with one other person, you're paying $295 a night for 3 or 4 nights, however you time you're traveling. Or we have a house that holds 16 people and it's $200 for your whole stay. So the very first event is Saturday night. There's a product training session. And then there's something Sunday afternoon, and then Monday morning and afternoon, and Tuesday morning and afternoon. And then Wednesday morning, you can leave. So we have the house starting Friday night so that you can get there Friday night. You can get there Saturday during the day, and you don't have to feel rushed and stressed to get to your hotel room, drop off your suitcase, go to the first session. So we've got some time to get there, to enjoy company, to just not rush. And then leave Wednesday morning. Our checkout's by 10. So if you can leave by 10, that's good. But it's a great opportunity to stay together. I know every convention I've gone to, I've roomed with people, and it's just really fun because you stay up late kind of talking about what you learned in the sessions, and you get to hear other people's opinions, and you say, hey, I'm kind of thinking about doing this, and they can give you their experiences. And it's just a really neat time to bond with your team and to learn from other people outside of this little square on Zoom. So if you're able to come and stay with us, I think it's going to be a blast. I know dropping the money right away is probably a little daunting. So it's $89 to register, and then the $200 is for your house stay. So what I'm asking, I had to pay the $3,000 up front. So if you can pay me sooner, that's better. But what I'm asking is for just $50 to save your spot right now. And then if you can give me the rest by the end of August, that would really help me not to pay interest on 2 billing cycles. So if you are able to come, get on there and register, PayPal me the $50 to save your spot, and then just get me the other $150 by the end of the summer. But I'm excited, and I hope that we fill these spots all the way. We've got some paid all the way, and then 20 people have talked to me and said, well, I think so. So don't just think so, do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. And let's go, let's have fun. So Brittany, back to
It's
you.
going to be so much fun. I'm so excited already. We have the best time together. We really do. All those pictures that you guys have seen us post, it actually is even more fun than we made it look, if that's even possible. We had an absolute blast, and we hope to see you guys all there next year. And if you guys have any questions, I'm going to post this on the team page. You can comment below on the team page after you watch this, or you can message us individually. But we hope you guys have a great night, and we hope to see you at Convention next year. Bye, everybody.